Hey, what is up, my dudes? What is going on? Alright, well, we don't have to hear that one twice, but let's try this. There we go, I can see myself. What's going on, my guys? Good to have you here. I just realized I forgot to ping the Discord, so let me go do that real quick. I'm live, and then I'll say, yo, paste, pasta. There we go. And everyone, I am live. Alright, there we go. What's going on? Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a mechanism today. So, I was thinking of this pantograph here. If you haven't ever seen a pantograph before, this is a device that can, among other things, you can scribe, text or trace a picture like it's doing here. Or probably shouldn't be showing that one, but you can trace a picture in a large scale, and the machine will transfer it into a smaller scale. Now, I've known this device has existed before, even before I knew of 507 mechanical movements, because I actually wanted to build one of these for school. And what I mean by that was I had a lot of classes at one point that, they allow you to bring a 3.5 by 5 inch index card to an exam with whatever notes you want on it. There's no limit to what you can put on the card, but you're limited into how small you can write, for the amount of information. So I was thinking a device like this might actually enable me to cram more notes onto onto a note card better than I could ever do it as a human being. Hey, a couple people just showed up. We got Electrica in the chat. Hello. Hey, ready for this show? Awesome. I'm glad you're ready because I'm ready. Duval also here. Awesome, my dude. Glad to see you here. Let's check what's going on in the Discord because as far as I can tell, it's been popping off a little bit. All right, what we got going on in general? So yeah, I had to skip the stream on Saturday, so I appreciate you coming back after, some. I'm just a dude, at the end of the day, I work full time, and sometimes, life hits me harder than I want it to, and you just gotta roll with the punches. So, I really do enjoy streaming though, so I really like to avoid, canceling them, but sometimes you just gotta. Hey Michael, what's going on? Michael Thorne just showed up. Very good. I'm glad to have you here. We were just gonna go check out what's on the Discord here. All right. So Risky saying Yaya had me thinking. I've gone through the CERT program, even CSWE, and I have done very little in the way of motion studies, which I would imagine is a large part of demonstrating for clients. Should there be a motion study certified SOLIDWORKS professional advanced exam? Also, where is a good place to start learning? Very good questions. Yaya immediately responding to that. I'd love to see such an exam. Me too. Me too, personally. Seems like quite a large part of the software there isn't a test for. It was a good place to start learning, Yaya. Here, see, he's got it. He's got his facts straight. But Yaya then says here, he tags me and it says, I suppose there is an exam, but only for reseller employees, but not 100% certain. There's not. After all, they have exams we mere users don't. That is true. So this could be one of them. Maybe Virtual Flat Cat could tell us. I can definitely tell you. At least as of 2019, when I left my reseller position, there was no such motion study exam for SolidWorks. They had everything from MBD to visualize to, all sorts of simulation, but no motion study. Hey, Modelchi, what's going on? So, why is that? I think that's a good question. But let me keep going here. Maybe you've never used motion studies. Start with the built-in tutorials. I think that's a great option. A lot of people don't realize there are built-in tutorials, and if you don't know where they are, I believe it's under help tutorials. Yep, right here. and there's tutorials on all sorts of different topics. And this is how I learned, like, for example, mold tools for the little bit I can do. And then I attended some talks, got better, and whatever. But I mean, I did start here for a lot of my stuff, so not very good advice in my opinion. Yeah, how to play with briefly, but it went horribly wrong. Oh no. Doesn't have the most pleasant learning curve, but as soon as you get the grasp of it, it's wonderful. Yeah. Good stuff. You might even get past me. This is my advice. Stay in animation as long as the animation gets done. Once your ideas aren't doable in animation, go for basic motion and even motion analysis. I agree with that too, I think especially I think my coolest animations, especially with the rebuildable parts, are only possible with animation. And I would only use basic motion if I needed some kind of complex solid body contact. That's usually when I end up using it. But yeah, I've seen tons of SolidWorks users shrug their shoulders and hearing SolidWorks and animation in the same sentence, but that's some nitwit told them to go the full potential or go home. Well, yeah, I mean, it can be very daunting no matter what way you approach it, but I think there is less interest in animation than one would expect, and I'll explain what I mean by that. But I just wanted to address this. I'm on student version. I think student version is SolidWorks Premium. You just have to go into the install or into the add-ins and make sure you add in the packages in there and those options. Yeah, I mean, Yaya has been using student version, using premium feature. Yep, because it's basically fully fledged SolidWorks. Hey, Yaya, speak of the devil. Yeah, we're talking about your conversation here you were having with Risky here. But yeah, Yaya giving great tips. Very important to choose between animation, basic motion, and motion analysis, depending on what you need. Maybe that's why there's no exam. I don't think so. I have my own opinions, and I'll get to that in a second. I keep saying that, but I did want to show this. Yaya actually doing the work for me. I go through a lot of this in my presentation for this year, so allow me to post that in the chat, if you want to refer to that, because I basically go down, I take like a higher level approach. It's like, okay, you know how to press the buttons, but how do I know whether I need an animation or a motion study? And basically, I kind of break it down here. You see, I provide a lovely, little table of like some of the more important features included with each, and then basically I show animations, and I kind of made it interactive. What do you think this should be made in? And then I show why I did it, and then basically take you through my thought process why. Because I think it's important to know, it's one thing to just be told, oh, just use a simple animation for this, whatever. But to take through the thought process why, I'd recommend giving this a watch. I had you guys in mind when I was making that. Yeah. And Matrix echoing a lot of the stuff here. So here, now to the actual thing. Why is there no animation exam? Well, here, I need to go get something, so I'll be right back. Hang in there. Alright, do you miss me? Alright, so why do I bring you here? So I was a SolidWorks reseller. Not me. I wasn't. I worked for a SolidWorks reseller. Let me say that. Um, and the main thing I did there was teach. I taught official SolidWorks classes, and the official SolidWorks classes, follow these training manuals, which are written and basically sanctioned by SolidWorks Corp themselves. And there is a lot of these manuals. So there's one for using SolidWorks PDM, the data management. Here's one for simulation. Here's another simulation for nonlinear. This one's fun. For flow simulation. So it just keeps going. For plastics. And, SolidWorks electrical. This one isn't even... this one isn't even open because I don't use SolidWorks electrical, but... Modelchi with a great question. Are they downloadable? They are not. And actually, the contents of these training manuals are, they're not a lot published online about them. The only way you can actually get a training manual is to actually register for a SolidWorks training course, and then they give you a copy. There is no outlet for just you to be able to buy these books, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think you should make these available. But, anyway, that's the way they want to do things. Yeah, where we can find the soft copies. Unfortunately, nowhere. The one thing I will say, that when you do get a physical copy, when you sign up for courses with a reseller, which, can be quite expensive, they give you like a serial number on the inside cover that will allow you to just basically go into kind of like an Amazon Kindle previewer thing, but you can't print anything. It's pretty restricted. They protect this content, and just to respect SolidWorks Corp. That's why I don't really like scan or post them or even use the SolidWorks model files from the exams, from these books, because I want to stay on their good side. Do you have a scanner? Yeah, I mean, if there's like a page of like information, I'll scan it if it's like pertinent, but I'm not gonna upload full copies of the book or anything like that, because I don't think SolidWorks Corp will take too kindly to me, and I don't want them to smite me with lightning, fire, and brimstone and stuff like that. But besides the point, so there's a bunch of these topics, right? But there does not exist a training manual for SolidWorks animation. It just isn't there. And actually, when I went to SolidWorks World in 2019, I went as a reseller, and they give you like access to super special like events where I for trainers, like I could give feedback on the courses as an instructor. And I basically raised my hand. I'm like, hey, a lot of my students really like animation, and there's no training manual. Are you developing a course for it? And they're like, nah, dog. I'm like, why not? It's like, well, because there's no interest in it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Everyone's telling me that they want to, learn animation. Or, well, not everybody, but I get a lot of questions about it all the time. But at that point, they explained to me that it just doesn't sell that well. It's just not... You got to remember that SolidWorks Corp is a business at the end of the day, and it, costs resources and money to develop these. So, they just don't do it because there's apparently they think that there's not enough interest for it, which they might be true, might be not. I mean, I do get a lot of people who are enthusiastic about animations. I will say this: the last SolidWorks publication the last official SolidWorks publication. I have it here, and I don't think there's any more copies of this, but there was this self-study guide, step-by-step creating animations using SolidWorks, a self-study guide. This is like official SolidWorks literature. The last copy of this published in 2012. Since then, they have not made official content pertaining to animation. Still, I got questions when I taught, and actually, what I ended up doing is when I taught the SolidWorks Assemblies course, I ended up, I made up a lesson of my own. And, if the class was quick paced, because, sometimes, sometimes the students needed more time with the exercises and the lesson material, and that was good. But sometimes you get a group of students that, were using it themselves already, and they just want to sharpen up. So, the class went pretty quick. And then I just made up a lesson like, hey, I could let you go home early, if you want, cool. That's what I did, a lot of the times. Like, if we got through all the lessons, and you want to beat the traffic is what I told people, fine. But if you want to stay, I will give you a super exclusive lesson on animations. And, they're kind of the things that I've taught here in the channel, but, a lot of the times once I offer that, most of the people stayed, actually. So choosing between going home and getting an extra lesson on animations, a lot of people stayed, which is why I brought it up to the the official SolidWorks staff, saying hey, I get it. These guys seem pretty interested at the very least. So I think for the same reason that SolidWorks has not developed an official training course for animations is the same reason that they have not developed an exam, and I kind of don't expect them to. If they have an exam that they don't even officially teach for, what sense is there for that? So we are, we as animators, or if y'all are animators, especially Yaya, great animator, we're kind of on our own to learn our techniques from each other. And from that perspective, I think, in terms of really advanced animators, I think other than me, the only person I know who's very advanced is Yaya. He's the one who makes very similar animations to what I can do. He can do as well. And that's kind of weird to think about, that there's me and then there's just Yaya. That's only two people in a circle of multiple. I know people who have used it before, but it's just not to the level that we try and push the software to. So I hope that that sheds some light. Yeah, man, it's I don't know, man. Maybe someday I will go through some of these manuals and, kind of pick out what the overall lessons are, and without actually using their models and their steps and their work, because the thing is that's copyright. If I show that to you, I could be held liable, so I'm not going to do that. But if I make up my own stuff, I think that would be acceptable. So I might do that and just use the lesson plan. But that is to be seen in the future. I'm a busy guy, and I wish I had the time to write books and stuff like that. Current Knight just showed up with a little Space Invaders alien dude. Same, honestly, same. All right, so I think that's all what's in general. What's going on in Share Your Work? Plus 50 new messages. Jesus. You guys have been popping off. Trammel of Archimedes. Ooh. Wow, that's very cool. It's almost like a trace path function, but what I am seeing here, this looks like a sweep with maybe a partial ellipse, and you just basically have the sketch updating to the center point of that face. That's just kind of my guess, and then you sweep it and turn it a red color. Very lovely effect, I think. Very good. That's awesome. And I think that's going to be relevant to what we're going to try to do today. I might do some trace path shenanigans. What is the most complex animation you've done? I sometimes show off the E3 engine video. I'm like, yeah, my friend made this. Oh man, that's a classic. We might need some context. Let me see if I can go find it. Hang on, my dudes. And the E3 engine video she's talking about, that is from my time in college. We actually took a motorcycle engine design course. And, you know, I finished a CAD with some time to spare, and I thought it would be pretty cool to make like a kind of promotional video for our engine. Let's see. Oh, and there's actually more videos that I have unlisted. You know, I might show them here in like a super exclusive just for my chat, or just for my my stream viewers. Get shareable link. Let's do that. Link copy to clipboard. All right, let's check this out. So I think I've showed this before. If it'll ever show up. You know, this is our 4-cylinder motorcycle engine. Now we design and I CAD'd. Yeah, I kind of want it. Don't. Yeah. I'll put the video in the chat if you want to listen with the music. But I won't do it here because you know, copyright and stuff. Although I don't think this video itself got copyright, but I'm just gonna be extra careful, you know. The X-Plane badging is due to the fact that it has a pretty unique crankshaft configuration, whereas a normal 4-cylinder has up, down, down, up. For example, for the 4 cylinders, this actually has left, up, down, right, and that actually balances more of the inertial forces we found. But there's actually more videos, so I unlisted these a long time ago, but we will check this out. So what is this? Yeah, or so E3, it stands for Engineer Engine Far. We named our team after that joke, but it's Engineer Engine Far Engine, or EEE, or E3 exclusive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this was like a very basic. Let me check this out. Yeah, this is the crossplane. So down, left, right, up was the configuration. And I see there's a valve glitching there. Yeah, the valve flip tangency. That is so sad. And I presented this. It's finished work. Well, just kidding. I mean, it was like a progress report. God, I wish the cam mate wasn't so touchy like that. So that hasn't been seen since 2016. What else? Oh, I wanted to go crazy. So this was a concept that I made that for an engine, and my team was like, please, oh god, no, let's not go down this path. I don't know if you remember Kuro Knight. Yeah, just for those of you who don't know, Kuro Knight was actually one of the members on the team with me. One of 10, or 2 of 10, you know, she and I, and then 8 other people. But I don't know if you remember this one, where I was like, we could actually pack the pistons pretty close to each other. And, you know, I called it the Honeycomb 4. And they were like, no, we're not doing this. I'm like, fine. I guess we'll do an inline 4. Fine. But yeah, this has not seen eyes since, I would say, late September of 2016. No comments. Yeah, because I promptly unlisted it. Or it might have just been unlisted to begin with, honestly. That was an abominable concept, I have to admit. You know, the cooling would be terrible on something like this. It would just be like one giant pocket of heat in the center. But anyway, I thought it was kind of funny. So yeah, there you go. That's a special. You got like 3 guys yelling at you for that. Like, no, please. Yeah, but that's a special exclusive. I guess showing for the the dozen people watching. So that's your reward for being such loyal fans to this channel. See anything else interesting? Nope, not really. Yep, nothing else. All right, well that was fun. But anyway, Trammel of Archimedes. Yeah, great job. I think the centering's a bit different, one versus the other. Can Trace Path do that? That's amazing. We'll definitely give it a try. Yeah, and was it made manually? Yes and no. Great. That's pretty cool. Challenging myself plus practice plus trial and error plus using SolidWorks daily for God knows how long, and finally passion. I think that's you know what? I'm pinning that here. Pin. Because I need to say that whenever they say like, "Oh, how do you get so good?" It's literally this. So, did I pin? No, I pinned it. All right, so you could go here and you're like, "Ah, look at that." Yeah, your message has been pinned. Let's see. Sketch of a partial ellipse. Ah, I knew it. The coloring in red. Make a sweep. Oh yeah, image quality. Yeah, it probably looked like a crumbly potato if you had it too low. That's good stuff. Tried out a new spring modeling technique. Learned it myself from the legendary Trinity SP himself. Your message has been noticed by Senpai. Yes. Getting pinned on the Discord is the highest honor you can achieve. Let's check this out again. Oh, was this made with, what's it, half torses? I see there's like a break in continuity here. It's not very apparent, but it is barely perceptible, but I think that's what this is. And that's actually one of the first ways I tried animating a spring. It's a real pain. I just prefer using a helix or swept path or something like that. Half a torus, there we go. And then quarter a torus, ooh, I didn't expect that. The fact is pretty convincing though. Like you have to look pretty hard, and you know I'm just kind of you know my perception is very highly trained, so you'll have that. Which you think looks better. So this is awesome because I actually did basically the same project as one of my very first SolidWorks projects. Like, Corona, I don't know if you remember, because you were with me for the first design course, the 160 class, I think. I think you were there with me, right? But, you know, there was a one part where, you know, our professor showed us how to use SolidWorks, and it was like, okay, in a week, just make whatever you want in SolidWorks. You know, submit a screenshot, and we'll vote on whichever's the coolest. And whoever's is the coolest gets 3D printed. I think that's what it was. So I actually submitted this, but instead of saying Yaya, obviously because I didn't know Yaya at the time, it said It said design, and then when you turned it, it said create. Those were the two words that I used. Yeah, we did 160, 360, and 290 was so fun. Oh, man. But yeah, so you might have... So, Kuro Knight probably remembers. I had one where you looked at it one way, it said design, you turned it like this. It was the exact same thing, except because it was potato, that was like, you know, among my first couple of weeks using SolidWorks. You see how Yaya is smart by putting space between the cubes? I didn't know that, and I just put the cubes touching next to each other. So you had a cubes touching edge to edge, which gives you a zero thickness error. Hooray! So I needed to figure out what the heck that even meant back then, and that and that really gave me some problems. So spacing it out like Yaya did, much smarter, much better. But this is a pretty amazing work, and it's awesome to see this. Pretty amazing to see this again. Honestly, this takes me back. This really does. Now this is legendary. So sad my name can't do this, Professor Cat. Oh yeah, and Yaya offering to make these for people. Very impressive, considering we had touched SolidWorks for the first time. Yeah, no, that was Oh yeah, and spoilers, I actually didn't win, so it was something. I literally can't even remember who won actually, but it wasn't me. But no, it was a lot of fun. Yumi, you got to remind me what you did for the 3D print contest. One I will never forget. Actually, I cannot remember if this was in our class or in a different one, because I actually was a teaching assistant for the elementary design course too. So I experienced it a couple times. But someone made a Millennium Falcon with like 3 features. Like it was like really blocky, and they labeled it the Millennial Falcon. So we're like, oh, the Millennial Falcon, the the drugged up version of the regular Millennium Falcon. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Yeah, follow up. Words can have different numbers of letters, but the model won't be aesthetically pleasing. You remember the Millennial Falcon? Okay, great. Then that was in our class. Definitely was in our class then. Bruh, so funny. I love that. This is interesting. How did you do that? Oh, very smart. This is clever. I've never seen that before. But wow, look, we'll play it one more time. You basically just have cubes directly behind each other for multiple letters. So short text. That's very smart. Here, I just want to pause it like right here. That is incredibly clever. That here. I need. What can I? Let's do that, because that is freaking awesome. Oop, I don't want to reply. Yeah. If you're in here, we're admiring your work here. Here, I'll add a emote from the Renegade Coder server. You got a Mercy. There you go. And Yaya posting. He's been popping off, dude. My 6th LinkedIn article. Journey to the CSW PA. This is good, and he did it on surfacing. That was the first advanced. That was the first advanced exam that I tried, and I failed the first time. Then I was, hey, that's me. I also learned from Andrew Lowy. Very good. Oh, this is very good. Honestly, dude, put the links Put the links to your articles in. Well, I just want this to be easily findable because these are so good. Yeah, thanks for these articles. Yeah. Yeah, very cool stuff. We need to like, pin those or something, or get it its own. I might rename this channel from CAD Exercise Library to CAD Resources and just make it, and maybe we can put Yaya's articles in there or links to them there, because they deserve to be read. For people who, um, who are studying that. Man, I skip one stream and the Discord is like popping off. By the way, if you want to join yourself, there's a link to the Discord there. But let's see what's in CAD Tech Help. So we got a picture of what appears to be a 3D print. Some mistakes I can think of. Oh, here we go. Just bought my 3D printer and printed preloaded dog, and was wondering what stuff I should tinker with to make future prints look smoother. Yeah, let's do an open original on that. That's interesting. How's the adhesion to your bed? That's the first thing I want to ask, because these look like dislocation lines. Yeah, it's not like the layers are like very, they're not just coarse, but there's like indents and it comes back out again. It indents and comes back out. Yeah, are these like layers like shifted forward? And so if I turn this dog around, would the layers be like shifted into the dog? That's what I want to know. This looks like dislocation. And maybe the looks like there's a bit of glue residue. How's the bed attached to the 3D printer? Is it screwed in place, or is it like a magnetic coupling? I think those are all like questions I would need to know. But, just by looking, looks like dislocation. Can someone help me use the design library, like forming tools? I'm trying to make an existing one, I think. Oh yeah, I could just, play around with some of these. Is that the one that comes with the software? Yeah. I think it has to be a sheet metal part, to use forming tools. So that might be part of the problem. The forming tools was not defined as a forming tools. Well, okay, so file location. Hooray for figuring stuff out. Treasure trove of information here. Yeah. So it looks like that got solved. How can I get this effect in SOLIDWORKS? Very interesting. I want a nice gradient transparent view of the model. You can do so using decals, but not with appearances. I don't think that's quite it. How? Can you add alpha layer decals? Yes, you can. That is true. But that is for like if you want the decal to appear and you just want the white background to be gone. Like it doesn't cause the part itself to be transparent. Yeah, so to answer Virus's original question, SOLIDWORKS, as far as I know, does not have a native way of doing this effect. What I would do if I needed it was I would render an image with the hood and then render an image without the hood completely and then bring both images into Photoshop and like layer them on top of each other and then use some kind of like brush erase tool to erase like part of the hood and then kind of blend it in. That's kind of how I would how I would do that. I want to see if I can... let's get this out of here. Do I have something that I could, like, do? Curved saber. Oops. I guess I renamed the folder. I guess I could try and do it with a saber. Yeah, but what I would do... Yeah, or lack thereof. It was just like a compartment, like an electric car. So we have something like this, and we have like a shroud. Whoops. So maybe we want to show like a breakout of like this underneath, right? So very basically, what I would do, let's fit this, and just to be consistent, I'm just gonna do this like really quick, without really caring. But we'll save file, save as PNG. Can I find it? There it is. Can he find it? Find out next time. Dragon Ball Z. Anyway. That looks fine, as long as it's in color. So let's say that this is the full, and view PNG after saving. It's too large for ambient occlusion. Alright, fine, whatever. So that's what that looks like. I'm gonna turn off, no, not perspective. Ambient occlusion, I want to turn that off. So I have the first image, so now what I'm gonna do is hide the things away. So maybe something like that. If you don't have access to Photoshop, Medibang is free, and you can do the same thing. That's actually a good tip. And actually, I don't use Photoshop either. I use Paint.net for most of my stuff. But it's it's good to know that Photoshop's nice, I've heard, but not completely necessary. So what I'm gonna do, same thing, PNG, where the heck are you? Curvesaver.png. So there's the stuff without, underneath. So then what it would do, go to Paint.net, which I have like a billion stuff open. Let's go, open. Lightsaber, let's get both of these open. Oh, that's a bit strange. How did that... I probably should have turned off perspective. Yeah, this is not going to work. Because they have to layer exactly on top of each other. One more time. Alright, so let's try file, save as, PNG. This is the... Okay, so that looks like that. Save as. Oh, actually got to show all the parts without moving. Hide, show. Now without moving the position, save as. PNG, the full. Okay, so I think that'll work. Let's try it again. Like that. There we go. Now you see how they're like basically right on top of each other like that. Now I can take, this with the outside shroud, new layer, paste, and then all you gotta do, get your like erase tool or something like that. It's gotta be bigger than that, I guess. It's probably too big, but whatever. It's just a proof of concept. Something like that. And then as you can see, when you start to erase the top layer, probably not, you could do something like that, where you can erase that, you can show that, or maybe I don't have this as huge. Yeah, but if there was like some kind of feature here, you can do, something like that. Just something to consider. That's how I would do that. So, SolidWorks can't do it all by itself, but you know, with a little bit of help from image editing, you can get it done. But yeah, I promise I'll start modeling soon. You guys have been popping off. It's a great thing. And I think that's it. Yeah, because then he says, "Oh, Autodesk has a lot to learn from SolidWorks, given AutoFit." Yeah, I think both have stuff to learn from each other. I definitely have my preferences, but I'm a SolidWorks dude at the end of the day. All right, so I think it's modeling time. Let's get this guy saved. Put it like here. And it's not overly complicated, to be honest with you. Yeah, so these are all separate links. Has a billion things open. Proceeds to make more things and open that too. Yeah, I don't give my computer a break. It doesn't need it. I paid for the whole computer. I'm gonna use the whole computer. Honestly, yeah, my RAM rip RIP. RAM RIP. So how do we want to do this? Oops. Oh, what the? There we go. I was thinking, how should I do this? I could probably just do, I think I'm just gonna do a bottom up assembly. I'll leave that in there though. But I'm gonna draw these links like basically straight up and down. But yeah, I'll start with C right at the origin. Like that, maybe make that like an inch or something. Then let's get a rod. Now what? Just doing this crazy multi-contour sketch. That's cool. Nothing to worry about. I might boost this up too. Okay. There we go. This and that can be maybe 6 inches apart. I think we just have to keep the distances consistent, and these links have to match up. So this isn't a very difficult model at all, but I do want to do some cool things with it. And honestly, I think I can use this exact same link for what A as in C, but I might make a different configuration or something like that. The speed run. I mean, I'm actually going kind of slow, in my opinion. Honestly, we'll take that as one sketch. Give that some thickness. Take this. Wait, why is this underdefined, bro? Come back. Oh, that's the I'm pizza. I'm potato. This sketch is fine. That's just the picture sketch. Okay, that weirded me out for a sec. I'll never forget the cheese speed run. Yeah, cheese speed run is a legend. It's going to be talked by historians basically throughout all time. I think it was really something that really brought humanity to the next level. Knowing that, you know, this one engineer could make a model of cheese with so many holes in such a short amount of time. It was just really unprecedented. It was really like unheard of. Actually, I changed my mind about this. I'm gonna exclude that. Bruh. Contour 3 needs to go. for 3K. I have to make a cheese every time. So this, I'm gonna use this yet again. The reason I'm splitting this up into multiple features because I want to make configurations. So this is the C configuration. Add a new one called A. Yeah, I know A and C are talking about points, but it'll be easy for me to refer to the actual linkages themselves. So that can suppress. We can open that up and start another sketch on here. Oh, by the way, do you like my technique for getting squares? So, I don't know if you noticed it, but, you know, I go for a center rectangle, and I make sure it's set to from midpoints. You just put your rectangle down. You move your mouse out here, hit the escape key, and then from here, click and drag to grab a box. And this has to be from the bottom right corner. But if you click and drag up from the bottom right corner, it'll grab two of these legs and you can give it an equal. And that's a speed run for a square. Yeah, it doesn't quite... Well, I guess it works for the top right, but I know it doesn't... Well, I guess you can do it on any corner, but the important thing is you need to go from right to left in your selection. Because if you go from left to right, you see there it's not working. Oh, I think the trouble with, you know, trying to get this is like, this doesn't work, but if you try and go the other way, you just click and drag on the entity itself. Though, you can get past it, so you see how I grab the shaded region and it can move the square itself? If you want to, like, not do that and draw a selection box, you hit the letter T on your keyboard. T as in taco. T. And then it allows you to just draw over whatever, or just drag a box or over whatever geometry you want. You're able to get that too. So I thought that was super helpful. But we're going to extrude this up to surface to that. Is your square a setting? When I do the midpoint, the dashed lines are diagonal. It has memory. That's the thing. So watch this. So I started a new sketch. It's just from the left pane right here. So normally it's from corners like that. So I think that's what you were talking about. But if I get out and start yet another sketch and do it again, it's still from corners. But all you have to do now is just say from midpoints. And then basically from now on, it's midpoints. So if I start a new sketch, yeah, it's still midpoints. So you just got to tick it right there and it just remembers, which is pretty nice. Now I got a bunch of rectangles. Now need to go. Yes to all. So now I should have C and A. So those are the two different configurations. think this is going pretty well so far. I think B are identical. And actually, you know, I can be kind of funny here. If I do add configuration, call this one B. Oh, this is going to be so silly. Let's see if I can even do this. Can I get face selection filter? So select faces. Can I just drag a box? Hold down control. It's not liking that. So basically just selecting all these faces to delete. And when it deletes in patches, it should just extend this. And there you go. That's B. So we have A, B, and C. I'm using my graphics card. It has children. think of the graphics card babies. Yeah, I'm kind of a sicko when it comes to you know, being dorky with SolidWorks. Definitely I strain this stuff a lot more than it should. I did all of that without saving. Why do I keep doing this? I only do this on stream, I swear. And apparently I'm a psychopath who doesn't save anything either. Links. Mechanical movement. Oh shoot, which one is this one? 246. 246. There we go. Now I think from here we can just give it into, you know, put this stuff into an assembly. We only have one thing. Oh, you're gonna do this. Okay. Hide. I only do this on stream, I swear. Yeah, that's... I swear. What now? This needs to float. Bruh. Top plane. Oh god, my brain. Oh yeah, there we go. I guess I did all of that on the top plane, which is fine, I guess. Let's get the front and the right. Oop, selected too many planes. Let's just get these two planes, and I want to say axis. This will be our center line. And grab that and say make concentric. Now that should just have one rotational degree of freedom. I guess this could also use holes too, but you know, what do I know? So that just needs to change into A. I wonder if I can just do this, flip. Okay, so there's that. Oh gosh, all right, you need to fix for right now. So I can just get you generally into place. We'll copy another one of you. B. I think I might make B also. I might do another delete face on this guy. So we're in B. Delete face. How do I do that? Oh, it doesn't like it. Big oof. Alright, well, lazy. So I'm gonna grab the split command. Grab this face and say cut part. Take these two and say consume. Now we have a flat link. There we go. We're getting it done. Okay, so that's there. Need another one. Is it time for zero thickness geometry? Well, it's always been that time for me, baby. It always sneaks up on me, that is. Oh god, let me... Oh, you're gonna do this. Fine, I'll fix you. This could also use holes, I just realized. I think that would make this a little bit more believable, right? Hey look, it's locked, but only because this is fixed, so we're gonna float. Float. Ooh-wee, look at me. This is actually kind of cool. Alright, what can I do about, like, the holes, you know? What if I just, like, go back, like, all the way here? Let's just get some hole wizard holes. You know, I don't even care. ANSI inch, drill sizes. Yeah, let's make it the smallest hole ever. As in a 5,000th hole. Jesus Christ. You just have to, like, laser zap it or something. Go for a 5/8 hole. That might be too big. That's not too bad. Like that. And we just gotta make sure that this boy is, like, active in all configurations. So right click, configure feature. Ah, yes, that is a problem. We're gonna make sure that all those are cleared so it applies to all configurations. Make it small, the cheese holes. Those are pretty small, dog. Alright, so what now? Okay, so I need to rebuild all configurations. Let's see if there's any errors. No, we're all good. Oh, wow, look at that. Alright. That is a thing. I think one more thing I want to do with the A configuration. Yeah, let's get a hole wizard hole on this as well. Yeah, I know. I was just as surprised as you. It's like no errors. Jesus, like this never happens to me. What the? Why am I sketching there? Let's bring this up. There we go. Because I need to cut into this. Another hole wizard. I think this one's smaller this time. It's going to represent where you're supposed to stick a pencil. Put that like there. Yeah, that's a through hole. Very good. What kind of fasteners will you use? That's a good question. Typically when I'm a lot of the times when I do these mechanisms, I actually exclude the fasteners. I know I probably shouldn't, but you know, I like showing you know, kind of the character of the mechanism itself. Yeah, and probably just to keep it simple, probably we'll just use like a pin joint or something like that. Yeah, because a lot of people get kind of hung up on the details when I do post stuff with like fasteners, saying like, "Oh, I would never use a socket head cap screw there. That's a thing, and you should use a pan head screw in those cases." I'm like, "Dog, I'm talking about the mechanism. It's cool. Look at it." So, you know, it's just kind of more like a, you know, proof of concept. Oh God, kind of thing. Gross. Oh, I left it rolled back. There we go. Yeah, you'll have that. there are 2 points of interest that I need to point out. Oh, yeah, no worries, bro. Yeah, good stuff. I'm glad you're here, by the way. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Let me check the B configuration. So I actually need a point. So if I go to reference geometry point, I should be able to select a circular edge and I should just find the center. Let's see where that wants to lie in this. We need to actually see points. Yeah, so that's right here. And that's exactly what I wanted. I might be able to pick the origin. Let's see if I can get it to trace my logo. I think that'd be kind of cool. Alright, so let's save this assembly. This is mechanical movement 246 ASM. Alright, let's get this. You know, it would have to be relatively small. Let me first start with a square. Get like 3, so that's just gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna make like kind of like an image here to trace, and I can use trace path, and I think we can make a really cool animation with it. Just out of curiosity, are you a designer or do you like doing SolidWorks stuff for fun? It's actually both. I work for company SJK Energy Systems, and we're basically I work in renewable energy, I guess you could say. So we're working on designs there. I do patent drawings, animations, actual mechanical design simulations. I'm kind of like an all-rounder, in there, a SolidWorks generalist. But then after hours, then I do this stuff for fun, just kind of like, bringing mechanisms to life, or rendering something, or just modeling something that I think is just very cool, and I think people should know about, and just kind of to enforce like the idea that all you have to do to get good is just practice and challenge yourself. And it's hard to see what that looks like, but that's why I do these streams, because there's so much YouTube content out there, like right now, about there's like how to model an engine, how to model a car, how to model a piston, how to model a spring, all of that. But that's all like a perfectly pure, catered like presentation of like nothing going wrong, and it all just works. And like, I don't know how you guys could see this. Like, it's easy to solve once you know. But it's like, that's not like really how the process is. So in these live streams, you're actually seeing me do this live with no practice. So all the errors that happen when I design for you guys here, that's real stuff. And then it's up to me to figure out, how do I proceed? Like, can I fix the error? Can I sidestep it? Am I doing something wrong? How do I get my work done at the end of the day? And I think that's valuable to know, more than just like, oh, click here, click there, and there you gotta, you gotta whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, if this is your first time on the channel, like, I really appreciate that you're here, watching the stream and stuff like that, and the people who like my, hit likes on the videos. That's super helpful. YouTube is like favoring likes on videos right now, so that's been very helpful. Roy's saying, nice, I'm a mechanical engineer. Don't do a lot of drawings, but I'm trying to improve on it to incorporate it into my career. Always love seeing clean models and drawings. I definitely do more simple designs for there are types of problems. Yeah, and there's no there you know there's no harm in that. There's always like a bit of like problem solving to basically no matter what you do. That's what's really cool about SolidWorks is that it permeates so many industries from like the welding shop and the sheet metal laser cutters to the plastic designers and the mold designers and the industrial designers. So it's just and all that space in between. So it's really really a fantastic thing to be passionate about, I guess. Yeah. What was I thinking? Logo. Yes, I have a block, a SolidWorks block. Hello. Search everything. .sldblk logo. Have the Apple logo. Full block logo. That might be extra, but let's go for it. So I can click and drag this here, dismiss that, so you can see it's too big. You can just turn the scale down such that it fits in the box. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because it's like the 7 bridges problem. Like how I'm going to get, I'm just going to use that just to start with. But like I was saying, it's kind of like the 7 bridges problem, where it's like, how do you get all these to cross in like one continuous segment without double backing? But I don't think that's going to be possible here because there's like very strange topology in my logo. We'll figure it out though. The idea is I want to have one continuous path that traces out this logo, which I realize like in order to get this stuff in the middle, it's going to have to like jump some gaps, which I'm okay with. It's not going to be a perfect, trace of my logo, but it's just to show, what's possible with a mechanism like the one I just modeled. Yeah, but I could actually start. Can I? There's no select tangency. That's a bummer. What if I explode the block? Hello? Right click? Hello? Oh. Right click, explode. Haha, you have been exploded. Just gonna fix that. Stay right there, don't move. Yeah, fix is not always the most ideal thing to use, but it's a trace, so. So I get select chain. I guess these might not be really tangent after all. Oh, that's a good question. What does exploding a sketch do? And I guess I went through that a little fast. I wasn't exploding a sketch. I was exploding the block. So, first we need to know what a block is. So a block is something that you can save into a file. It's essentially sketch entities that you can save into a file, and you can bring it into other part files. So it's very useful for like logos and stuff like that. So as a quick example, let's say that I make my logo and it looks like, just gonna do something quick. Looks like that. I'll give it an overall size. I'm not gonna too crazy with it defining. But let's say that this is my logo. And, this is my company. I might need this logo for other parts. So what you can do is you can select all your... I said select all of the sketch entities. There we go. Thank you. And basically what you can do here is... let me get rid of this. I usually go to my command search because this is not... comes up very often. But first you want to start with make block. So there's make block. So make block will you'll take all the entities you selected and just kind of like fuse them all together. So as you'll see here, if I hit OK, You know, this whole thing was kind of underdefined, but if I like snap that to the origin and maybe just make sure it doesn't rotate, it's suddenly fully defined. And that's because I've made this all a block. Even though the underlying sketch is underdefined, it's I told SOLIDWORKS to just fuse it all into like one kind of entity. So it's pretty interesting what you can do with stuff like this. But you know, can kind of like prototype like, you know, 4-bar mechanisms and stuff like that. It's really very interesting. But what you can do, it's like that one sketch that's frozen. Exactly. But then you can take the block, so you can see it's organized it into this thing, this block. You can right click, you can actually save the block. So so blocks get the extension SLDBLK. So if you have a program to search for files like I do, you know, I typed in SLDBLK, it shows all the blocks on my hard drive. But I can just leave that in there. And then I can just basically go into a different part file and I can basically bring that in. So if I go back to here and say insert block, I can browse. And there's my block 1. Yep, there's my thing, like that. And maybe I'll say stay in this orientation and touch this point. You see it's fully defined. But when I was thinking about exploiting the block, I was experiencing an issue that I think was being caused by all the sketch entities being fused together. So you can actually explode the block, which is you take the block that's formed and you turn it back into sketch entities. So you see it's underdefined, just like it used to be. And then now I can like stretch it and, you know, define it in some other way. So that's the rundown of blocks. Pretty helpful for logos especially. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Except, you know, what I might try and do. Let's convert all of these. Get your trim. So you might be saying, like, why would I trim? Nothing's touching each other, but you can actually trim with the power trim. If you click on a line and just bring it out here, you can extend it. So click and extend, and then use the same trim tool. Use the same trim tool to clean up your corner. So extend, extend, trim. So I'm going to start like that. Maybe come down here, loop back, and then keep going. Wonder if that's a new. It's been around for a while. It's just one of those. It's one of those, unfortunately, like. Sorry, I'm like adjusting myself in my chair. Definitely one of those underutilized. It's not even a particularly like mind-blowing feature, so it doesn't get talked about a lot. That's the unfortunate bit. It's been around for a little while, but yeah. Let's convert these. Again with our trim tool. Extend, trim back. Then I'm going to have to connect with a line. There's no choice there. Yeah, so I'll go here, and now I'm coming back up. This is good. So convert. And then now I can go around here, I think. Which goes into here, and now I'm gonna have to do basically the same thing. I'm gonna go and kind of loop back. Let's see. Yeah, before I convert this, I'm gonna actually fix the trim. Actually, what I should do, let me pull that back, convert, and there we go. Because I don't want this point to merge with this one. I want that to go there, and then I trim. Like that, so you can see the path, it goes up, and around. That's a tiny line. Get rid of that. And then, yeah, now I need to manually draw a line for this. And then now, I wonder if I can start my... So definitely I can incorporate this and connect it here. So I can actually try and be smart and choose my start point. Okay, so let's do that. So we have that and as a large path. So yeah, keep in mind that this is all just one big old path now. And so the question is, where do I go from here? Maybe this is the end. If I go here and terminate here. Let's try it. Take that and just convert. But then I have to do all this shape with the other one end. So let's, man, this is using a lot of my brain power. I don't know if I can do this, guys. Actually, I might just have to go here, here, and then back. Come on. Back here, and that's it. You guys just watching me do a topology puzzle, basically. And that's not even considering the inner text, but I'm just going to leave... I'm probably going to leave the text. I might just do the trace to cube and call it a day. Let's do that. Yeah, so that should just be one big old path. So if I get rid of that and then hide these original sketches, that's not bad. That's pretty good. And keep in mind, this is all one line. Or not all, I mean one line, but one path. So if an ant starts walking here, he can only end up over here. That's pretty cool. But to turn this into a smoother path, I'm just going to use fit spline. Fit spline. Right click, select chain. Hello. Oh, that's not connected. Oops. Well, that became very apparent. This needs to be connected. All right. Again. Again on the top plane, get a fit spline. Right click, select chain. Oh, another break. Man, I'm being sloppy. Again. Where are these sketches being created? That's interesting. Oh, what the? So edit sketch. Oh, that is a bug. That is a bug bug. I basically entered fit spline, exited the sketch, and it just had a sketch without any. It just had an empty sketch, which you're not allowed to have. Like, you know, for example, if I start a sketch on the top plane and then I try and save, it says, hey, you can't. I wonder if that would cause a corruption. Man, I really want to know. Let me see if I can actually reproduce the bug consistently. So if I do fit spline and just like I said, select chain, and then I'm like, nah, let me go out. Oh, it's not doing it anymore. Let me try. So top, fit, select chain. No, I don't want that. Get out. And then, what did I do? Then I went into this sketch. I like trimmed something. Okay, so it's not working anymore. I'm gonna have to watch the VOD to see exactly what steps I did. But there were 2 empty sketches that I just entered and exited, and they just disappeared. Like some kind of Scooby-Doo mystery. Anyway, let's get back on track here. And a chain, and it can't be a closed spline. There we go. And let's hug those corners tighter. This looks good. That is rad. Hide. And that is the one path that we have. So I can make the pantograph follow this. That's the idea. So let's try something here. We are going to save pantograph path. Okay, we don't care about this. We want the assembly. We're going to insert. Okay, so the important thing, the top plane needs to touch this, I believe. Because once I get this oriented and fixed into place, oh, my brain is breaking. Okay, those... Well, actually, can I make them perpendicular? There we go. Let's make the origin of that. This and the origin, maybe some distance away from each other. 3. And it definitely needs to come back closer, so the right plane of the assembly with the origin of the path needs to be a distance, and it needs to be like 8 or something. There we go. Now that's kind of in range. Hello, late, but I'm here. I was missing you, dude. Good old Sebastian. I have a good feeling about this. What are you doing? Yes, good question. I made this pantograph, which turns large drawings into small drawings. And so I made like a custom path. So this is like my block logo, but as like one single line. And I'm going to see if I can get trace path to reproduce a smaller copy of my logo. And hopefully it'll be cool. So that's in a nutshell what I'm trying to do. So with this, I know, yeah, the sussy thing is that the pantograph depends on this moving part, which is a little weird. So I'm just going to fix that in place, which should just suppress all of the mates. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to say mate, our advanced mates, get a path mate, component vertex. This is the A part. Oh, bruh, I need to see more. Origin? Oh, I guessed right. Okay. With the path selection. This one. It's going to be interesting. Let's just try and add it for right now. Okay. I wonder if I could specify like a %. Oh, I guess I could use a pathmate motor, right? It's going to be interesting. Let's give this a good old save and, you know, let's get a better view of this. Do I have... It's weird. It looked like I had perspective on. I suppose it's fine. Let's just try and go for this. Okay. Let's go. Oh, I need SolidWorks motion because we're using trace path. So that is a... yeah, that is a reason to use full motion analysis. I wonder if in order to use a pathmate motor, so let's go for... Well, that's a force. I want a motor, pathmate motor. Pathmate. Constant speed. I don't know how long this path is. Let's go half an inch and then, you know, I'll just extend the length of the thing. So if I... Oh, it's going. Oh boy, it's going. Bring it all the way here. It needs to be longer still, which means I think what I'm gonna do is just shorten the animation, and just make the pathmate motor faster. And quadruple the speed. Oh, well, I mean, it did it. That does feel way too fast, though. So let me extend that to 20 and then halve the speed. One inch per second, which is what it originally suggested for me. Yeah, it overshoots a little bit, but that's okay. I can just do that. You know, I could just end it at 18. There you go. Doesn't have to be an exact science. Now, ideally, what should be happening here is I need trace path. So I need results, displacement, trace path, and just grab one of these points. That is so cool. It's a little weird though. It looks kind of skewed, doesn't it? That is way cool, but I don't know why it's doing that. Let us go back here. Let's float this. Let me increase the distance because I notice it causes this to go past the front plane. So if I maybe boost that up to 10, maybe 12 even, so that the whole thing stays up here. Let's go up here. Oh, something got goofed. Didn't like that. What if I just fix it again? Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna have to redo. Hey, what are you talking about? You didn't redo the position at all. Y'all lied to me. I wonder if I can copy study. Copy study. Alright, I think I'm just going to have to leave this float, and I'll try and adjust the mate from within here. Yeah, so this is still 8. That's not correct. You're 12 now. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. 12. Hooray. And try and run. Okay, it still binds. Yeah, I'm thinking, I hate it when it does this. I might have to do a new motion study. Yeah, so let me fix, and actually let me verify that it doesn't do anything. Oh, this is tough. There we go. Yeah, so even at the lowest point, it does not. There we go. Leave that there. And new motion study. Thankfully, it was not that much work to set up. And we already know the parameters, thankfully. Motor, pathmate motor. Pathmate. Yep, we got that constant speed. Make this 18 and make sure, let's make sure I have that set up correctly. Yeah, there we go. And now just the trace. Still looks a little skewed for some reason. Let me read the description. Maybe there's some kind of relationship between the link length that is causing it to do that. Let me look at this. Copying, enlarging, reducing plans. Turns on a fixed point C. B is an ivory tracing point, and A the pencil. Range is shown. If we trace the lines with point B, the pencil will reproduce double the size. By shifting the slide, the proportion of which the plan will be traced will be varied. So you can actually shift this whole thing. Which I guess is fine. And this certainly does seem they're all identical. What the heck is that? Gross. I mean, overall, it is working, but it's just for some reason the output's a little skewed. Alright, I'll try one more thing. I might just leave it like that, honestly. Yeah, there's not too much information given about it, but still it is very cool. What I'll do. Float. Okay. I wonder if making this a more regular shape. Let's just try that. It's the last thing I can think of. Okay, motor, pathmate, Something is broken. Oh, it's so goofy. I think I forgot to fix this. Yeah, so fixing it is very important. Okay. Trace. Dog. I need 0.1. Sure. Yeah, it seems identical, so I don't think it has to do with any of that. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that, I would say. But first I need the points to hide. This needs to show, but I'd like to change the color of this. Sketch color. Let's make that like blue or pink or blue. Oh, it shows up as black, but not blue. Interesting. I'm trying to figure out what's also a good way to... it's a good way to show this because it's hard to see the output when there's so many like lines crossing up each other. Honestly, the only thing I can think of is to change the object line color. Make it like a gray. So I'm gonna go display. No, colors. Visible model edges. Change that to like a gray. Hello? That did not appear to do anything. Oh, I changed it in drawings, didn't I? That's dumb. Okay, that'll do it. Edges in shaded with edges mode. That's the one. There we go. Yeah, maybe turn it just a little bit so we get perspective. Like, ooh, it's 3D. Sad that I can't get the... Well, what I can actually do, it's already, to the path. I can just sweep this with a small line, just like Yaya did with his thing. I might have to make that smaller still. Yeah, those are tight corners. And then I can just, define the color of the solid body. Alright, well, I guess I gotta let it freak out for a little bit. I'll just hang out. There we go. Do 0.02. Okay, at that point it works. 103. That looks good. And then I can just go to just plastic, low gloss, blue. Now it looks like something. I think. Oh yeah, because it's mixing with the gray. Well, what I'll do in that case is the pantograph path. Let's make sure that my time thingy's here. Show that and just shaded. Okay, that's a bit better, I think. I think if I render this with high enough resolution, it'll show up. Actually, there's a... Well, let's see something here. So what's my height show? Motion symbols. Let's see how this looks. I save, it's like turn this like really large, square. It's a little off, but that's okay. 24 MP4. So just a test here. Let that go. So something that I will show while this is going. Yeah, Yaya sent me something pretty nice too. Show it here right now. Oops. I only downloaded, so I don't. So Yaya made this. Which I think is really awesome. Yeah, I did transform. I'm the SolidWorks nerd. I love how he did the color changing too. That's awesome. So Sebastian's saying, when I use split line or projection command, can I work with that sketch? I mean, project a line onto a surface and then like extrude that line. I don't know if I'm being... I think I know what you're asking. So let's wait for this to finish and I'll do a demonstration. Yeah, we're almost there. But what I'm thinking is like, it'll generate a curve, but you might just have to do like one extra step in order to get it to be a usable sketch. All right. I didn't hear a ding yet, so ding means no ding means not done. Probably packing it up right now into a file. Ding means done. Let's go check window. Click the little folder. Open with So it does appear. Okay, that's good. I just had a realization. I know I set my thing, my pattern, offset from the center of rotation. What if I move it back in line? All right, so we have this. All right, so that Sebastian, I'll get to your question in a second. I just want to investigate this thought that I just had. So let me go float this. Mates. So distance 1, instead of 3, why did I do this? Make this 0. Like that. And then distance 2. We got 12. Like we had it before. Yeah, that's starting at the beginning of the path. Again, let's center this up. Make a new motion study. Oh, and I think I forgot to fix it again, so. Fix. That's fine. Yeah, now it shows fix in there. I'll keep doing that. Drop. Alright, so for the component, pathmate. Oh, pathmate motor. Pathmate. Extend this out to 18 seconds. Make sure it works. Okay. Now for the moment of truth. Is my brain like onto something? Displacement, trace path, 0.1. So yeah, no change. How do I get this point? Yeah, I don't see why that would have changed anything. Yeah, it's a strange phenomenon, but that means what I have is workable, and that's probably what I'll use. I might do some video editing to make it a little bit clearer, but yeah, I think we're pretty much done with our modeling here. So let's watch that again, and then we'll play around with Sebastian's question. Yep, so this is what I have, and looks a little crunchy on your screen because this is like a lower resolution monitor, but I should be able to take it to the 4K monitor that I have. All right, I just saw your new question, so let's so we're gonna call that done. So let's get like a model, first and foremost. All right. Make those like equal. Yeah, something like this, and then I might revolve that. So something like this. And just to help with the things, we're going to view tangent edges as phantom. Oh, that is barely visible. I gotta turn that back off. I need... I might just reset colors to defaults. Oh god, it's so bright. Well, I mean, that did work. Well, we'll go with it for the time being so I don't have to dig through that menu. So, split line is the only way to split a model. And to be more specific, it's the only way to split a face. Yes. But what you have to realize with split line, the sketch with which you split the model has to completely cut the face into two. So for example, I can do this and then say curve split line to this, and it will work just fine. You see that? We split this model into two faces. Looks like Among Us. Yeah, my brain's rotted with all the memes. Anyway, if I, for example, try to get a partial sketch like this and feed that into split line, it should throw an error. It does not completely split the selected faces. But what you can do is project. So with project curve, you can take that curve, and even though it's not complete, you can still apply it to the surface. And what you get out of it is not a sketch, but a curve. So with this, you can't really extrude it like anything unless you convert it into a sketch. And the easiest way to do that is by opening up a 3D sketch and just using convert entities on it. And you can see it becomes like a sketch entity. And then at that point, you can do something like, you can extrude it. It would have to be a thin feature. And with 3D Sketch, it's going to ask you for a direction. So maybe you want the front plane or top. Doesn't like it. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, it doesn't even have an option for thin feature, which is strange. So maybe you want a surface extrude. So surface in the top plane direction. Come on, you can do it. And there you can see you get something like that, and then you can like thicken it or something, and yeah, something like that. And you could see it kind of like has like that impression of that in here. So 3D Sketch is the key to work with projected lines. Yes, that is the main takeaway from that. Yeah, because curves don't really play very well with many of the commands. They just have to be converted into a 3D sketch or 2D sketch, but that's kind of rare that you can actually fit the entire sketch like that. So looks like that answered your question, which I think is pretty great. So I think we're gonna end this episode. I'm gonna take this into editing software to make this look a little better, but I think we're at least done with the modeling. Take one last look at it. There it is. And before I go here, we'll ask a couple things of you, a couple favors, if you will. Ooh, I accidentally can I bring my old tabs back? Hello? Is my stream still running? I might have really goofed something up. Firefox, why do you do this to me? Restore previous session. Hold on, I'm having some technical difficulties. Stream is working. Okay, great. Okay, that is very interesting to note. I thought you had to keep the browser window open for the stream to work. Like this thing. I thought you had to keep this open. I guess you really don't have to, which is all right. So for those of you who stream, you don't have to keep that window open. Apparently, I mean I probably will. Man, but that was mad goofy. It's about to end the stream, and that was so weird. But anyway, yeah, thanks for letting me know, Sebastian. But the things I'd like you to do for me, if you wouldn't mind, if you aren't part of the Discord already, I would really love you to see you there. So that's the link to it. It'll take you to the rules page. Just give this a quick read, click the teapot, and you'll have access to all of the channels. And we're a great community here. We all help each other out. Additionally, if you want to see my Instagram, my Twitter, or my LinkedIn, that is all contained here. And the very last thing you can do for me is, if you wouldn't mind, just hit that like button. So what I read is the YouTube algorithm is favoring likes right now more than anything. So if you want to give it that good old like, that'll mean the world to me. It'll rank higher with YouTube, and it'll basically get my content to more people and grow the community. And what could be better than that? So with that, that's all I got for you. So I will see you next time. Today's Saturday, Tuesday. So, bye-bye, guys.